Okay, I'll start with myself, not my best picture, but still. My name is Майя Ивашкевич. I've been teaching business English for over 13 years, and I am one of the top teachers of our language school. Moreover, I specialize in business English, logistics, finance, and one of my favorite topics is describing trends. My students don't like it, but they get the best information out of it. That's why I am giving this webinar today. So going back to you, tell me please, what do you do in your companies and why it's interesting for you to describe trends or important? Andrei, what do you do? What's your job? You can text it if you can't speak, it's okay.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
I'm just a financial manager in company.
I'm just a financial manager. Okay, that's amazing. Good, good. So I believe you describe a lot of different trends, changes, and so on, right?
in current situation, it's very interesting.
Yeah, in current situation, it's extremely. I'm not sure the interesting is the best choice here of the word, but yeah, challenging. Okay. Do you usually prepare reports in English or in Russian?
I'm sorry, we don't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Do you usually prepare reports in English or in Russian?
I'm sorry, you're not here.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, right now, yes.
Do you usually prepare reports in English or in Russian?
Yes. Regularly
in English. Okay, good. Thank you. Lesia, what about you? Could you tell us a couple of words about yourself? Is she here? Looks like Lesia left. Olga, Andrew, Tatiana, Maria, any comments on your side? I guess it's going to be a quiet presentation, but I would really appreciate if you can join meanwhile. So when we prepare some usually presentations on trends, on developments that we have in the company, we have a structure, right? A structure of this presentation. It can be a big one when you speak on a conference, when you give a presentation on your annual meeting or quarterly meeting, and probably takes longer, or it can be a short type of presentation, couple of slides, if you speak at your regular, maybe day-to-day or weekly meetings and so on. Nevertheless, when we speak about a presentation, we need to keep in mind several points. So the structure that we have to follow when we speak on it. So what we do, we start with the subject or title of the talk, saying what this slide or this presentation is going to be about, so that people can concentrate on that. We do present ourselves. That's what I almost forgot to do at the beginning of my presentation, but still saying who we are, why we are here, especially when you're talking to a new audience or at a conference where not everybody knows you. It's a good point if it's a big speech to say when people can ask questions. In our case, you can write questions in chat whenever I have a second, I will look at it and answer you, or I'll get back to it at the end of our talk. Then, yeah, what you're going to talk about, how long you're going to talk about it, what visual aid you're going to use while you're presenting the information, and some summary and conclusions that come at the end of your presentation. I'm pretty sure you know all of it. My question is, what is visual aid? Who knows what it is? If you don't know, write a no or a minus in chat. If you know what it is, tell me please what it is. Andrei, save me. Be an active listener. Tell me, what is a visual aid?
Visual aids?
Mm-hmm. Do you
As I
know?
understand the main point that I want to told in the presentation? Maybe this?
That is the topic or the subject that you are talking about. That's the main thing. Visual aids, it's about different things. Anyone knows? Maria, Tatiana.
Slides.
Tatiana is writing the translation. Have you Googled it? Tatiana, did you Google the translation, or that's how you believe it should be translated? Yes, Googled it. Okay, good job. Google, yeah, Google Translate helps us sometimes. Yeah, it's very close to the Russian equivalent that you gave. Visual aid, it's all pictures that you use, let's call them pictures, that you use at your presentation that make it easier for the audience to understand what you're talking about. What types of visual aids do you know? I mentioned one, that is pictures. Do you know any other ones? What do you usually use at your presentations?
Videos.
Videos, good. What else?
Icons.
Icons, okay. Andrew, as a financial manager, what visual aid do you use?
Table.
Tables, good. Anything else? Okay. Maria, Olga, any ideas?
I said already videos and icons.
Sorry, Olga, because I don't see everyone who is speaking, and no cameras, it's a bit difficult to decipher sometimes. Okay, Tatiana, the chat person, what do you use? Okay. Sorry. So what we use as visual aids? You mentioned videos, pictures, tables, and we use different types of chart, pie charts, bar graphs, line graphs, flow charts, diagrams, some plans, maps. Do you know all these words? Or something is not familiar? What is a pie chart?
Pie chart?
Good question. So who knows what is a pie chart?
It's a kind of diagram, circle one.
Right, it's a circle diagram when you have pieces of pie. Yeah, sorry for my drawing, but that's how it looks. This is the pie chart. A bar graph, do you understand what it is?
It's also a diagram with squares.
Diagram with squares when we have aces, right? And we have different bars, like bars of chocolate or something like that, yeah? Something like that. Okay. Table is clear. Diagram is basically the name of any type of chart that you are using. Picture clear. Line graph is something that we have like, sorry, goodness. Something that is more maybe typical when you use, yeah, some lines. What is a flow chart? What is flow? Do we know what is flow?
Поток.
Good. So the flow chart is very close to a map. Not a map, but it has some bars, and you show where something goes, like first step, second step, and so on. So it usually looks like that, because you show where the direction of something that develops, yeah? It would be a flow chart. Which of the visual aids do you guys usually use at your presentations? Andrew, you mentioned tables. Do you use any diagrams?
Yes, of course. The different types of diagrams, pie chart, and sometimes picture.
And sometimes pictures. Okay. What information do you usually present by pie charts?
For example, to show the share of something.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Olga, what about you? You mentioned pictures and videos before. What type of information do you usually show by these visual aids?
Something that I have made to display, like I work in marketing, so it's basically advertising.
So the actual ads, yeah, or ideas that should be in the ad, correct?
Correct.
Good. Do you use any charts or only videos and pictures?
Yes, I do use.
Also use charts. What kind of information do you present with a chart?
Different market share, a lot.
Market shares, okay. Tatiana, the chat person, what do you usually use?
Usually I use pie chart
Pie chart,
pie chart and diagram. Maybe
and diagrams.
Sometimes tables.
Sometimes tables. Okay, very nice. So the next point we are going to look at are the verbs and sometimes nouns that we use when we describe trends. First would be trend of going down. What words do you know that we can use when we speak about movement down? So you have a graph or you have a chart and you want to show that something is decreasing. So the word decrease we can use. Any other words you know that we can use?
Decline, maybe.
Decline, good. What else do you remember?
Drop down.
To drop, usually we say drop, not drop down. Good option. Okay, good. So there is decrease, decline, go down, fall, get worse and shrink. Yeah. When we speak about movement down, the words drop, it's usually when something falls down very fast, when you have a very sharp decrease in something. Drop, plummet also has the same meaning. Hit the low, when you get to the lowest point, reach a low and hit bottom. And a very interesting verb that we usually forget about, it's the verb to halve. When we speak about something that was, I don't know, in the amount of 4, now in the amount of 2, we can say that the sales halved, yeah, or the coverage halved over the last 2-3 months. When we speak about movement up, what verbs do you remember? Or picked a little bit now in a slide? So decrease, the opposite is?
Increase.
Increase, absolutely. Any other verbs remember? Okay, increase, go up, rise, grow, gain. Yeah, very careful. Please don't say grow up because it has a very different meaning. If we speak about trends, we use the verb grow. When do we use the verb grow up?
In fact.
No, grow up we use about children. Our children grow up, they become adults. So if we speak about children, they can grow up and grow. Financial figures, some trends, they only grow. They don't grow up, only grow. Then when something goes up very fast, that's jump, rocket, and soar. Something that goes from movement up, down to improvement, improve, recover. And of course, reach a peak, to peak, and two wonderful verbs about doubling and tripling. So that's clear. When we want to say that something was, I don't know, 2 and became 10, which verb can we use to do that? How do we say увеличиться в 5 раз?
5 times rising.
To increase five times, absolutely, Andrew, to increase 5 times, or you can come across the phrase to increase 5-fold or 10-fold. Yeah, like a paper, when you have a piece of paper, it folds, and the same with the increase. To increase 10-fold, увеличиться в 10 раз. So, or to increase 10 times. So we have separate word to double, triple. Actually, there is a word to quadruple, to increase 4 times, but not very many people use it. And everything that is after 3, usually 4 times, 5 times, 10 times, and so on, times or fold. These are the verbs that we use to describe movement up. Guys, please, if you can, screen it, because we're gonna describe some graphs today to practice the usage of this vocabulary. Do I need to go back to the increase or decrease slide? I'll take it as a no. And there are other movements apart from going up and down. There are movements of, let's say, some instability that we can see. So if you look at some chart and you see that something is going up and down, going up and down, we usually say it fluctuates. Колебаться, yeah, in Russian, it fluctuates. When something was going up and down, and then it became one level and it is not changing anymore, we say to level off or to stabilize. And interesting point about prepositions, when we want to point out that some factor, some figure is I don't know, at the level of 10, at the level of 100, we say it stands at the level of 100 points, or I don't know, 10,000 rubles. It amounts to 5,000. And when it changes, it goes from 10 to 15. So prepositions are sometimes challenging. So take a note what you can use after verbs when you speak about trends, when you speak about figures. Any questions here? Okay. No questions from Andrew. Okay, let's hope ladies don't have any questions as well. And nouns that we form out of verbs that we can also use when we're describing trends. So to fall, a fall, to decrease, a decrease, stress is changing, to drop, a drop, to decline, a decline. The same with rising, to rise, a rise, to increase, an increase, to grow, a growth, to jump, a jump, improvement, and recovery. I have a question. Do you, what do you usually use, the verb to rise or the verb to raise? And is there any difference there? Do you know the verb to raise? Is it the same meaning as rise, or they are different?
Do we need to use an object after the verb raise to raise something? And
Very
rise
good,
we can
Maria.
use.
Very good. Yes, after the verb raise, we always use an object. After the verb rise, we cannot use object, yeah? We raised the prices. So we did some activity on our prices. Good point. But when we say, it is not important who did the activity or on whom it was done, we can say the prices rose, yeah, by themselves. So something that happens on its own, we use rise. Raise we use when we did some activity on something. Good. And the other point to keep in mind, rise is an irregular verb. The forms are changing, yeah. And raise is a regular verb. So we have common rules of making past tense. Maria, thank you so much. It's very nice that you know the difference, because it's quite typical mistake when we use rise instead of raise. Okay, moving on. Sorry, I lost my mouse for a second. When we looked at you at some verbs, and we know the verbs of when we have very fast growth and very fast movement down. Which verbs do you remember when we speak about fast movement up and fast movement down? What do you remember? Hello. When something
fast
goes
movement down is drop.
Drop, good. And what else?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Decrease.
It's not fast, it's a regular one.
Okay.
But good point, Maria. Yeah, we're training our memory. To plummet, to drop, to plummet. And fast movement up. Who remembers? To soar, to jump, yeah, probably the easiest one, and to rocket, like rocket science, something very fast. Nevertheless, Maria, you said that decrease, yeah, or increase, it's also a movement up and down. It's usually regular, but when you want to underline that something was moving faster, yeah, you can add some adverbs like it increased rapidly or it decreased sharply. So it will show that the movement up or down was quite fast, not maybe steady. On the other hand, you can use adverbs of slow movement, yeah, slowly, steadily, gradually, or slightly. And yeah, when it's considerable change, considerably, noticeably, dramatically, markedly, significantly. Do you know all these words? Or some of them are not quite clear?
The meaning of gradually is like by grades, something like that.
I would say step by step.
Step by step. Okay.
Gradually, yeah. So it's not very fast. Like we finish the first stage, we go to the next stage. So it's closer step by step. Good. Any other questions? Okay, no more questions. Good. And once again, about prepositions, it's sometimes confusing. So we'll look at it in more detail. So sales fell by $20. If I want to say that something increased or fell by something, на какое-то количество, yeah, we use by. Say slightly decreased from to, we discussed that. If you use a noun, a decline or a decrease or an increase, in some sphere, we use in. Yeah, there was a decline in sales. There was an increase in coverage. Yeah, ad coverage or something like that. A fall of 20%. After noun fall, we would use preposition of. When if we had a verb, we would use by. And as we discussed, to stand at some level. Yeah, so sales leveled off at $80. So these are some prepositions to keep in mind when you are describing figures. Any questions here, guys? No questions. Okay, let's look at our first example, our very, very outdated line graph on what? Who can describe me what this slide tells us? Guys, it's your turn to speak. So, volunteers. Maria, would you like to try?
It's the graph that shows us the level of an income in euros.
Income change, yeah, over 4-year period from 2011 to 2014, right?
Yep.
Can you describe the graph? What was happening to the income during this time period?
From 2011 to 2012, the income level increased by 1,000 euros.
Okay, increased by 1,000, good.
And the next year, the income level increased by 4,000 euros. And from 2013 to 2014, the income dropped by 500 euros.
Well, drop may be too strong because it's not very sharp.
Yeah.
Change. Yeah. If we want to make it softer, what would we use?
Decreased.
Decreased. Okay, so increased by, decreased. What can we use when we describe this point? From 2012 to 2013, we had 4, it became 8. What else can we say? How would we say удвоилось?
Doubled.
So income doubled from 2012 to 2013 and stood at the level of 8,000 euros. Yeah? Okay. How would we say незначительно уменьшился?
Slightly decreased.
Absolutely. So we can say that over the last year, income slightly decreased by 500 euros. Very nice. Very nice. Let's look at the next graph. Andrew, would you like to try? As you're in finance and we're speaking about sales. Hello, Andrew, Tatiana, the other Andrew. Let's try, guys, because speaking helps us to memorize the new or maybe already known phrases, but gives us opportunity to practice and become better. Anyone wants to try? Maria, if you want to try one more time, you are more than welcome. Okay. Sorry, I have bad connection. Maybe you can try and type some description, Andrei Vaulin, if you want to. You can practice writing. Yeah, if you can't speak, you can describe and write in maybe first half of the year, how would you describe the change in sales? And we'll discuss it and maybe suggest some improvements. Tatiana and the other Andrew, any participation? Maria, would you like to try?
All I can say about this graph is that the sales amount is not stable.
It's not stable. So to begin with, we can say that on this slide, we see sales over the, let's say, last year, yeah? And we see it in millions of dollars. Not stable. Let's describe the first half a year. What's going on there?
During the first 3 months, it was grow in sales.
There was, not it was, but there was growth in sales. Good.
Growth in sales. And from March to April, there was a drop.
Good job.
4 million, from 4 millions to $1 million.
Good.
Starting from April, the sales were increasing. The amount of sales was increasing.
Yeah, so it's the last half of the year. The amount of sales was increasing, and we see a considerable increase, you can say, yeah, up to $7 million, correct?
Yeah.
Good, good. How would you say резко выросли?
Sharply increase.
Increased sharply. Good, Andrew. So sales increased sharply. And the other verbs that we discussed? Rocket, jump, and soar. Yeah, so you can say that the sales rocketed in June, July. What is the month? In July, reaching top of the year. What was going on?
Sorry, I think we all couldn't hear you. What was your last question? Could you
Can you hear me now?
Please? Yeah.
Okay, sorry, it's my laptop does sometimes. Andrew, as you are back, could you describe the second half of the graph from July to December?
Our sales after the July going down in twice. And we have decreasing in our sales till December.
Okay.
Something like this.
Very fast description, like it just keeps falling. Yeah. How would you say? Yeah, it's still an approach. You can do it fast way, or we can look at it in more detail. How would you say уменьшились в 2 раза?
Decrease, double decrease.
No, it's not double decrease. Who remembers? How do we say уменьшаться в 2 раза? How would you say половина?
Half of our July sales.
Okay, half, половина. Уменьшиться в 2 раза, to halve. Yeah, we had this word. So we can, you hear me okay?
Yes.
We can say that the sales halved over the next quarter, for example, yeah, because July, August, September, 3 months, the sales halved over the last quarter. How would you say с сентября по октябрь мы видим небольшое улучшение? September to October. Anyone knows? Небольшое улучшение. How do we say улучшать?
Low rising, no.
Низкий рост, interesting. Well, no, not low rise, not незначительное, небольшой. How do we say that? We had this word. We had it here, slight. Yeah, a slight улучшение.
Slight increase, improvement.
Improvement, yeah. Or a slight increase, also possible to say that. So from September to October, Andrew, can you try?
Decreasing by 1 point.
С сентября по октябрь мы наблюдаем небольшое улучшение. В продажах.
No.
Ага, Мария, can you try? That's okay.
From September to October, there was a slight increase in sales.
Slight increase in sales. Good. There was a slight improvement in sales. Good. There was, or we can see, a slight improvement in sales. Both options work perfectly here. Okay. В следующем месяце было резкое падение. Andrew, would you like to try?
On the next month, we have deep decrease in our sales.
Deep decrease in sales. Sharp decrease in sales, or we see a drop. We see a drop in sales. How would you say once again в следующем месяце?
On the next month. On the
next month. No preposition. Next month. Good. And then from November to December, there was a slight recovery one more time. But in general, the sales are not very good, yeah? I'd like to ask here, what do you think they are selling? That it sells in July and never again. My idea is air conditioning on a very hot July month like last year in Moscow.
Maybe it depends about the time of the year. This is the problem.
Yeah, so this product is probably dependable on the time of the year, on the month, on the quarter, and that's why they make the most of it sometime mid-summer, and then it is not selling. Very nice. Okay, one more graph for you to describe. Here we have two basically line graphs on one picture. Who would like to tell us first what is this graph about? Andrew, would you like to try? What do we see on this slide?
This graphics is describe for us our profitability and gross margin, as I understand, because we can see our sales. It is equal our revenue and our costs. So that's why we can see the gross margin and our profitability of our company.
Profitability of the company. Okay. Over the period of 2011 to 2014. Would you like to describe what is going on with the profitability?
We have the good results from 2011 till the middle of the half of 2012.
Okay.
But after that, our cost has increased rapidly.
Our cost increased rapidly.
Rapidly, and our company performance was negative. After the 1 year, we saw that we have the positive result as our sales more higher than our costs.
As our sales were higher than our costs. Then our expenses. Good. How would you say, Maria, anything to add? Sorry.
Yeah, we can say that in 2013, our expenses exceeded the sales.
Exceeded the sales. How would we say на в два, не в два раза, да? Не в два. На там 500 рублей.
Exceeded the sales by 500 rubles.
Okay, exceeded by 500 rubles or rubles. Okay, good. Anything else to add here?
No, I don't have anything to add.
Nothing to add. Okay, let's practice some more vocabulary. В 2013 году расходы резко возросли. How would we say that once again?
In 2013, our expenses jumped.
Good.
Rapidly.
Without rapidly in this case.
Without rapidly jumped. Okay.
Jumped, or you can say jumped significantly, because jump is already very fast movement, but you can underline significantly, значительно, да? Good. Расходы были на уровне 600 рублей в 2014 году. Andrew?
Our cost was about 400 rubles in 2013.
600 rubles in 2014 were about, okay, стояли на уровне, были на уровне. Let's try and remember this vocabulary.
Stabilized.
Stabilized, this one. Stood at. Stand at the level. Yeah, you can say that in 2014, expenses stood at the level of 600 rubles. Okay. С 11 по 12 год продажи немного выросли. Who would like to try?
From 2011, our revenue is low rising.
Low низкий, а вот немного все-таки. Слегка. Maria, do you remember?
Slightly.
Slightly. Very good. Very good. Andrew, can you finish the sentence, please?
And
Продажи немного выросли.
and our revenue is slightly rise.
Our revenue rose slightly.
Rose slightly.
Or increased slightly. Good. С 2013 года мы наблюдаем улучшение продаж. Мария, would you like to try?
Starting from 2013, we see the sales improvement.
Okay, very good. We see sales improvement. Starting with 2013, sales have been improving. For example, if it's true till present moment, you can say have been improving as well. Okay, good. What else? What else we can practice here? С 13 по 14 год расходы уменьшились вдвое. Ну, почти вдвое. Andrew?
We decrease our cost from 2012 till 2030 by 2 times.
2 times. We decrease them 2 times, possible. And if we try to remember the verb уменьшиться в 2 раза.
Double decrease.
No. В чатике я писала. I wrote in chat. Halved. Good, Maria. Thank you so much. So, over the last year, from 2013 to 2014, our expenses halved or nearly halved. Да? Почти в 2 раза. Nearly halved. Good. And last one. A fun one. Maria, what do we see here?
We see the graph.
It's a bar chart, actually.
It's a bar chart that describes the turnover by each branch during 3 months.
During first quarter of the year or during 3 months. Very good. Can you tell us what's going on in January?
In January, the Moscow branch had the highest turnover amount.
Turnover, you don't need amount. Highest turnover.
And the London branch had the lowest turnover.
Good. Andrew, can you tell us what's going on to New York branch over this quarter?
New York branch has increased their turnover by 2 times.
Has increased it 2 times. Or by 100%, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Они вдвое увеличили. Which verb do we remember?
They doubled their turnover.
Good. They doubled their turnover. Very nice. Maria, what can we say about London branch over the first quarter?
The turnover of London branch during the first quarter was not very stable. One moment. From January to February, they increased their turnover from 15,000 to 25,000.
Okay.
And in March, their turnover dropped to 10,000.
Basically dropped to 10,000. Okay. And the general trend is probably negative. Yeah, its turnover doesn't look like it's going to grow. Okay, good. Andrew, can you describe the overall trend of all three branches?
Very bad.
Very bad trend. Okay.
No, very bad slide at all.
Okay. In general.
In general, we saw that the company total turnover has a positive dynamics. And total turnover increasing about 100%.
By about 100%. Okay,